So today I have a 720 and I've removed the 25-inch CRT monitor and I'm going to be installing a Phoenix Unico flat 26-inch or 25-inch monitor in its place. What's left over from the monitor is a red, green, blue for the colors, and then a ground, and then the sync wires, the orange and yellow, will be repinned together. And then blue and brown wires from the monitor, from the power supply itself. These wires that you see here with the ground are actually coming from the board set below, and they run up into the speaker. The Phoenix monitor comes with a power supply, and if you go over to my Paperboy, which I've already put a flat Unico monitor in, you will see the back of the monitor has this wire that comes all the way down and connects to the box that I was just showing you. This power box then connects to a plug, a source of power, which I then had to cut and strip and connect to the power source in the game, which goes up and around and down into the power supply. Okay, this connector here, which is for your power source, is going to connect right into here, which is an easy, obvious connection. This is going to be the bottom of your monitor. This is going to be the top of the monitor. Obviously, we're on the back of the monitor, and that's the front. And then these pins right here, these are the pins that I'm going to have to connect to this Molex connector right here. You can see it is a 1.55 spin. I'm not really sure. I got it from Arcade Parts and Repairs. And this is going to actually replace this Molex connector. So the red, green, blue are the colors of the monitor respectively. Your red, your green, your blue. The black is your ground, and then the orange and yellow are your sync. They're actually, even though they're separate, are going to go together into these 5 openings. I'll show you that when I'm done. Okay, as you can see in the Paperboy monitor, which is already set up, we've got the red for red, green for green, blue for blue, black for ground, and the brown on this one happens to be the sync. Even though there's orange and yellow wires here, I did not cut it here. There was this extra set of wires for me in the 720. Excuse me, in the Paperboy. If you come over to the 720, go ahead. You'll see all I have at this red connection for the monitor is almost like a red. It's kind of a brown or a burgundy. Green, blue for red, green, blue. The black is your ground, and then your orange and yellow are your sync. I know I've said it before. So I'm gonna actually cut these wires here. I'm gonna pin them, and I'm gonna put them in here with the orange and yellow together in this one. You can see there's 4 little holes here, and then kind of like a key. It's not really a key, but it's like a gap. And then one more. That's where the orange and yellow go. This is where the red, green, blue, brown, orange, yellow. That's going to be my order. The pins are going to be the female side. They are 1.55 2026 AWG. I'm pretty sure that 2026 happens to be the width of the wire. Wires vary in their width depending on how thick they are. And these are female connectors, so they will fit into one side of that Molex connector. I'm going to use my wire cutter. I go to the end of the wire before you see these exposed. I've actually already cut them. You find the size of opening that the wire matches, stick it through the hole, clip it, pull it, and you'll have the exposed wire. Once the wire is exposed, you're going to want to twist it a little bit so they all stay together. You'll notice there's a bunch of wires within one coating. I twisted already the orange and yellow together because those are the sync. Twist the green, twist the blue. And remember, it goes in the order of Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. So these 2 are actually backwards. Roy G. Biv. Then black, which is your ground. Even though black is sometimes green, even though ground is sometimes green, they often will make it black. Okay, good, done. Molex crimper. And if you close it like that, it kind of wants to hold its position, so you have to squeeze it for it to open back up. I find in doing this, I like to load it with the pin ever so lightly, just so it grabs it. I'm not crimping it yet, I'm just holding it that way. Then I'm gonna take my G, I already did the red, stick the wire in as far in as you can get it, squeeze it, and if you notice, it actually did a really nice crimp there. Let go. Oh, and my wire is actually beyond the pin, so I'll trim that a little bit with some wire cutters. These pins are actually connected to a wire that you don't need. So if you wiggle that back and forth on the wire, kind of like a loose tooth, the extra aluminum will break off, and now you have your pin, your female pin. So one more time, not to bore you, just to reiterate, you load the Molex crimper like so. Take your next wire, which is going to be blue, Roy G. Biv. Actually, this one's not twisted very well, and my hands are full, so I'm going to do the orange-yellow one. Stick it in, crimp it. You can see the other side. Let go, and you've got a nicely crimped wire. Okay, now that all of these have been pinned, remember I said that there's like a little notch here for some reason in this Molex connector, so we're going to do red, green, blue, black, or orange, yellow. And when you push them through, I don't know if you could see, there's a little tiny, behind my finger, that little tiny piece that sticks up. That's supposed to catch. If you notice, there's a little notch on the side there. So that's the direction you're going to want to insert it. And when you push it in, you should hear or feel a little click. I don't, but when you, oh, that's why it came out. Okay, when you pull out, it should not come with you. There we go. Okay, and when you pull back, it should not come out. We'll do the black next. This way. There we go, I just heard a click. Roy G. Biv, B is next. There we go. Then the green. Good. And finally, the red. Make sure that that little pin, that notch is sticking up right there so it catches the opening. There we go, nice and perfect. That's how it should look. This is going to connect right here. You might be wondering why I went 1, 2, 3, 4 space pin, and I don't have the reason for that, but that's why that Molex connector looks like it, so it'll actually sync up with that perfectly. This power piece, this is connected to the box. It's going to go up here, in there, now that the monitor is in. And then this piece here, this Molex piece, if you remember, the orange and yellow are separate from the other colors, so we're going to have to turn it this way. And we'll put it on this way and connect it to the monitor. The monitor is not in fully, so I don't want to push too hard. Okay, then if you follow this power cord down through the opening, down through here, you'll see it comes down. Get the light. It comes down right here, and it connects to the power box. That's the next step. Okay, so I purchased this at Home Depot, and I'm actually going to take the power supply box that comes from the monitor, with the monitor comes, and we'll plug that into there. And then I'm going to cut this part off here, strip it back, pull out the wires, and I will pin the wires here. I have another Molex, actually 3 of them came in this kit here, like that. And so if you take a look, it says here 2-pin Molex 2.1. And I got these also from Arcade Repairs, Parts and Repairs. I'm going to copy what's in the game. So coming from the monitor, it looks like it's the male piece. So that's what I'm going to cut here. And I'm going to put this on there. And then I'm going to take the female part and I will put it on here instead of this piece. And when all is said and done, the monitor should work. Cut some of this black coating off and expose the wires that are within. There we go. You can see this actually has a black, white, and a ground, which makes sense because that's why you have 3 there. But we're only going to be working with the black and the white, so clip back a little more and just try and give myself some leeway. and we're going to strip the tips of the black and the white, and we'll put on the connector. Okay, there we go. So the black and white have been stripped, the ground is just trimmed, and I am going to load these into 2 pins, one per color, and then stick them into the respective side and just make sure I get the proper side. Here's the Molex connector that I'm going to be using to replace this one here that comes out of the monitor. And something interesting just to note is it looks like it's a circle with a flat side on one part of the circle, and so does the receiving side. So it's really easy to fit them. There's no mistaking which way they go. Kind of like an HDMI cord, right? Kind of has what I call the happy face side, right? The flat side. And then anyways, something interesting to note, this is the male side, but when you look at the pins down here, the male side will get the female pins, which are the ones with the holes. The female side of the Molex connector will get the male side of the pins, which do not have the holes. So that's something to keep in mind. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take, this one's the male side, so I'm going to take the female side of my Molex connector, that's this side, and I'm going to use the male pins to go in the female Molex and connect it to this. And I'll be back. These are the male pins, and if you notice, they're bigger than the pins that we did up in the monitor. So I'm actually going to use the A opening instead of the B. And if you just take your time, it takes a second, but if you load it in and you do it just right, it'll kind of hold it for you. And then you could take your white wire, which I have yet to pin. I already pinned the black, as you can see. Stick it in there. Nope, it's getting all frayed. Let me just tighten that. Okay. Stick it in there. Make sure it's coming through on the other side. Crimp it, and there you go. You could see the black and the white. Now again, similar to the other connector, let me see. This side goes here. This is the male, this is the female. So they're going to go like that. So these wires need to go in through here to make ends meet. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, and then the last part that we're going to do, we're going to take this from the monitor. This is what plugs into the monitor when the game has a CRT. It plugs into the chassis. We're going to cut this, we're going to pin it, and then we're going to connect this to the other piece. Okay. Okay, so now we've got the male Molex connector, and both of these were stripped and pinned, stripped on the ends and pinned. And when I stuck them both in, you didn't hear it, but there was actually a really nice click, and you could see the pins there. These are the female pins inside the male Molex connector. The DJ just told me that brown goes to black and blue goes to white. Unlike my Paperboy, where these two were black and white, so black went to black and white went to white. But brown goes to black and blue goes to white, so I'm going to stick this like that so I know that this is aligned properly. Blue goes to white, so I will stick the white pin in. You hear that little click. Stick the black one in. Hear that click? There we go. Okay, not the best job. One wire is a little longer than the other, but that's okay. This should be it. So now we're going to take this power plug. We're going to plug it in here. This is now connected to the monitor's power supply, and if you follow that, oh, it just undid, but that's okay. If you follow this brown and blue wire, it goes up and around, and down to the power supply. It'll connect in here. And then, like I said, this wire itself will connect up to the monitor, which I will feed through one of those openings. So let's try it. Here we go.
No input.
No input.
So,
well, it's getting power, so that's good. So there's a problem with the Unico monitor syncing with my 720 when the horizontal and vertical sync wires are tied together. If you notice, I've popped them out. Let's see if you could see that. See, they're no longer connected in there. This is the horizontal and the vertical sync wires. So we're going to have to run a separate wire from the video board to the monitor. And I'm actually going down here. I'm going to take this one off here. Okay. This wire connects pin 6 on the video output of the video board to the sync spot in the Unico monitor, which is up here. Pin 6 is the composite sync signal that comes out of the video board. So right there between the blue and the orange, I'm going to pin maybe like a 22 or 24 gauge wire. And the reason this happened is because Atari never needed this signal, so they didn't include a wire for it in the wiring harness, so I'm just going to throw that wire in there. Okay, so I'm using this blue wire from up above. One end I'm going to connect to this, and the other end is going to come through the game and connect right here. Unfortunately, this new blue wire is going to fit between a already blue and orange wire. I really would have liked a different color, but I really need the gauge to fit, and the only wire that I had was this one. That's going to work. I do have a purple wire, but it's very different gauge. It's too thick. So you just line this up like so. Try and get it in there. Just use some kind of tool. And then the other end I will take care of in a minute. Now it looks like it's well inserted like that. This is the new wire right here, the blue one. I'm just going to plug it back into, and if you can't tell, you can see there's a key. The key happens to be that little plastic piece right there. That they call that a key. If you look, there's one space, then the key, and then a bunch of spaces. And if you look here at the game, there's one prong, a space, and a lot of spaces. So this one prong, this space, and the other spaces line up with the one key, so you know which way to put the Molex connector on. Get that wire in there. There we go. Okay, time for the other end. Okay, I'm now at the top of the game. I'm going to strip and pin this blue wire, and again, it's going to go into this far right opening instead of the XY horizontal and vertical calibration. Okay, here we go. So we've got the pin. We've got this wire pinned, and if you notice, it's got a little tiny tooth sticking out. That's the side that you want to put towards this little notch. So find the tooth, find the notch. There you go. You hear it little click. It's in, nice and tight. Let's try this. Here's the 720 wire. Turning it on. There we go. Yes. Lovely. Now it's just going to be a little adjustment so it's to the right on the screen a little bit. You can see everything. That did it. Thank you to my friend DJ. Shout out to Kynan for helping me with problem solving what to do. I love you guys. You're the best. Thank you. Let's play this sucker. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody out there. I know that I appreciate all the help that I received, and I just want to pay it forward. Leave some kind comments below, and hopefully this was helpful to you.